jump to the question of modeling and simulation and relating it to Polymer Ohio, but also just the question alone. The world is becoming more and more predictive and less empirical. I think we were prophetic in a way years ago, actually when I still worked at Owens, Illinois, and we were developing all of this PET technology. We began to understand that PET is very different than other plastics and that you can predict its behavior. If you know how fast you're stretching it, at what temperature you're stretching it, what its molecular weight is, all of those parameters, you can actually predict what it will do. You've got to experimentally determine everything. You've got to build a mold, you've got to make containers, you've got to go through the testing process, which we may do eventually, but that's a $40,000 to $100,000 deal to do that. Now, as you alluded to, have a way to virtually predict the blow molding of a container and exactly how it will perform. And that's a unique thing. Taking that back to Polymer Ohio recognizes that the polymer industry has basically been an empirical, on the ground, do it, experiment, try it again kind of an industry. And it's very segregated in Ohio. There are 2,800 companies. There are a lot of companies, but they're small. And they aren't as sophisticated. And they're competing with not only each other, but with the rest of the world. So Polymer Ohio has identified a number of things, but computer simulation and modeling being one of those things that if we could somehow bring that sophistication to the Ohio polymer industry, we would enhance that industry, which is already a big industry here, by leaps and bounds. Ohio has identified companies like ours that are already doing these kinds of things. They've identified packages of software that could be applied in the polymer industry, and they're trying to become the bridge. How do we make this available? Now, companies like ours use non-proprietary and software and simulation. Moldex is an example of how do you really create an injection molding software that tells you how you fill the mold and what are the parameters and so forth. We could develop that, but why should we?
No reason.
We should spend our money and our time and our resources on developing the more sophisticated software actually for our applications. And we can go to Polymer Ohio, who has become the bridge to make that available to companies like ours. Whether you're in the plastics industry and the auto industry, if you don't figure out how to predict before you act, you are eventually going to be behind your competitors. Now, it costs money to develop virtual prototyping, but when a customer can come in here and we can predict that on a computer and show them exactly how it will perform and what it will look like before we ever make anything, and oh, by the way, do that in 3D, I mean, you eventually have a way that, a customer, remember, most of these customers are in the business of marketing their products, so being able to look at a variety of options before they ever do anything is huge.
It pays for itself many times.
So it pays for itself.
Yeah.
I will say again, predictive methods are absolutely where the world's going. So moving from empirical and experimental methods to predictive methods will save money, time, and improve accuracy, and oh, by the way, give you an ability to be creative in a way that you can't be if you've got to build a prototype on everything you do.